stay in a seat, a little different. If you want to make your way up, we're going to start out in hero's pose, Virasana, or thunderbolt pose. The options, if you feel comfortable sitting on your heels, you can do that. If you want to take one block in between the ankles, we might rest like that, or perhaps 2 blocks if you want to go a little bit higher. And then we just start out with the knees about hips-width distance apart. Make sure this feels okay, but no, you can choose a different seat for sure. Don't have any hesitation. If your knees start to bother you and you want to just take a cross-legged seat instead or extend both legs out, you can certainly do that. And then maybe just close your eyes. Let your hands just settle down in your lap. Take a moment to feel your spine. And just gently lift and lengthen up the entire spine, reaching up through the crown of your head. Just imagine if there was a single string just going all the way from your tailbone up through the crown of the head. Somebody was just lightly drawing on that string. Belly button just lightly engaged in. Shoulders soft. Beginning to find your pause here. Observing your body this morning. Feeling the flow of the breath in and out of the lungs. Maybe just focusing your inner eye over the tip of just help steady the mind. Take 2 more breaths here. And then we're going to start to add our movement. We'll begin by just lifting up out of this seat. We're going to come up off the block or off our heels. And then we'll find a kneeling mountain. Just make sure you feel comfortable here. You can always pat under your knees if your knees are sensitive. And then we're going to reach both arms up alongside the ears. Just take a moment to lengthen up both sides of the waist, up and out through the fingertips. And then take an inhale, and as you exhale, we're going to ball up the hands, reach the elbows back, just a little bend at the hips. And then as we inhale, we're going to straighten back out, reaching the arms up. Exhale, we're bending into the elbows, just a slight hinge. And then inhaling to reach up. Exhale, just a couple more times, just getting the shoulders warmed up, the hips. Two more times. And then we'll reach up. We're going to pause again. Just come to stillness. Feel that stillness. And then take an inhale. We're going to lengthen. As we exhale, we'll rotate right, belly, ribs, and chest, opening the arms wide. And then from here, dropping the right arm down, we'll reach the left arm up. And then tee both arms out. From here, we'll unwind, reaching up. Exhale to rotate left. Belly, ribs, and chest. Dropping the left arm down, reaching the right arm up. Feeling the arms back out. We'll unwind, reach up, maybe gaze up. And then bringing the palms to touch, just lower your hands down through heart center. We'll pause here for a moment. If you'd like to set an intention for your practice, you can set that now. And then from here, let's take the hands down to the hips. And this is going to be a little bit different. Think about keeping your body nice and long, just as it is now. We're not going to come into a back bend. We're going to lightly engage the abdominals in, and then we're going to keep the spine long as we just begin to lean back. Maybe we just go a couple of inches. You can kind of experiment in your body here, and then we're going to come back up. So we're just kind of hinging at the knees, keeping the spine long, just leaning back. You'll feel this in your quads, the front of the thighs. Lean back, and we're just going to do this one more time. Keeping spine long. And coming back up. We'll pause. We're going to shift the gaze down. We'll take the hands down to the mat. Now, if you're really high up on your mat, you can always crawl back a little bit. And then from here, let's tuck the toes under just for something a little different. And then we're going to take a few rounds of cat and cow, just inhaling to drop the belly, lift the chest, lift the tailbone, exhaling to round. And just find your flow here, moving with the breath. Notice the difference in sensation with the toes tucked if you don't generally tuck the toes, but know this is always an option. Let's go one more cycle. And then just a long spine. Find a pause. We're going to untuck the toes. Just give the toes a little tap out. And then come to stillness. We're going to step the right foot straight back, coming onto the ball of that right foot. And then from here, we'll float that right heel up. See if you can keep your hips level here. Keep extending out through that right heel. And then we'll lengthen the left arm up alongside the ear for our bird dog, gazing down towards the mat, creating length through the heel, forwards through the fingertips. Take an inhale. And as you exhale, we're going to crunch left elbow, right knee together, rounding the spine. Inhale to lengthen back out. Exhale to crunch. Couple more times here. Just listen to your body. Slow, steady movement. One more time. And then we're going to lengthen back out. We're going to set everything down, but we'll keep that right leg extended. So we land back on the ball of that right foot. And then we're going to kickstand the left foot out to the side. We're going to roll the right foot down, opening right hip up towards the ceiling for our side plank. The right fingertip reaches up. We can float the right leg up, lengthening out through that right heel, drawing length forwards through the crown of the head. And then let's set that right foot down. We're going to take the top hand down to the mat, bring everything back in except for keep that right leg extended. So we're in that tabletop shape. Now this time we're going to cross the right leg behind the left, and we'll take a little peek over that left shoulder. Crisscross, lengthening out that right side. Now from here, we'll bring that right leg back. We'll bend into the right knee, set that right leg down, and just reset for a moment. Then step the left leg straight back. Without changing anything else, we're going to float that left heel up. And then from here, adding the right arm. Right fingertips lengthening forwards. Left heel reaching back. Just imagine you're stamping your foot on a wall behind you. And then take an inhale. As you exhale, crunching and rounding that right knee, or right elbow, left knee. Inhaling to lengthen out. Exhaling to crunch. And we'll do 5 of these. So 3 more. After that last one, just pause, lengthen out. We're going to set everything down, but keep that left leg extended. This time we'll kickstand the right foot out to the side. We're going to roll that left hip up towards the ceiling, reach the left arm up. We can float that left leg up. Extending out through the heel, drawing crown of the head forwards, lengthening up through the left fingertips. Taking that left foot down, bringing left hand down to the mat, coming back to our tabletop with that left leg extended. And then we're going to hop the left leg behind the right. You can reach that foot out to the side as much as you like here. We gaze over the right shoulder. And then let's bring that left leg back. We'll bend into the left knee. From here, we're going to come up onto our blocks just for a moment. And we'll step the right foot in between the palms. Take your time to rise up. Hands can come to that front knee. And then once we're here, we'll reach the arms up. Take a moment to lengthen out. Find a pause. And then we're going to take the right hand down to the right hip. We're going to lengthen up through the left fingertips. We'll slowly begin to lean towards that right side. And then slowly coming back up through center, taking the left hand down. We'll reach the right arm up. This side will feel a little more wobbly. We're going to lean away from that right knee, drawing that right arm towards the left. And then coming back up through center, we can take that right hand down to the hip. Inhale to reach both arms back up, maybe gazing up. And then let's take the hands down to the blocks. We're gonna step the right leg back, step the left foot forwards. From here, rising up, remember just slow, steady movement. And then that left knee over the ankle, hips facing forwards. We're going to keep the right arm extended. Left hand will come down to the hip. We're going to dip in towards that left side. Creating that nice arc along the right. And then coming back up, we'll take the right hand down. We're going to reach the left arm up. We're going to lean towards the right. And just notice how this is a little more wobbly. And then coming back up through center, we'll take that left hand down and then inhale to reach both arms up, maybe gaze up. Exhale the hands down to the blocks. Now from here, we can set the blocks aside. We're going to step the left leg back. And then from here, a child's pose, just easing hips down and back, crawling fingertips forwards. Let everything settle. Next inhale, begin to rise up onto hands and knees. And then from here, we'll take the hands forward about a palm's width distance. We're going to tuck the toes, send the hips up and back, downward facing dog. So our first downward dog here, let's pedal out the feet, straightening one leg, bending into the other, going side to side. Just gazing back towards the legs, shifting weight out of the palms, shifting weight out of the shoulders, lengthening hips up and back towards the wall behind. Come to stillness. And then from here, let's put a deep bend into both knees. We're going to keep the gaze back as we walk the hands back towards the feet. We'll come into a fold at the back of the mat, a generous bend in the knees, as much as you need to just drape forwards over the thighs. And then from here, steady down through the feet. As you inhale, slowly begin to rise up, letting the spine slowly unfurl. As you come up, we're going to take an inhale, reach shoulders up towards the ears. Exhale, roll the shoulders down and back. Inhale to reach shoulders around and up. Exhale, roll the shoulders down and back. And we'll just do this 2 more times. Drawing shoulder blades in towards the spine, feeling that movement. And then let your shoulders settle. Next inhale, we'll reach the arms around and up. As you exhale, rotate right, belly, ribs, and chest. We're going to open the arms wide. We'll drop the right arm down, left arm will lengthen up. And then teeing the arms back out. We'll inhale to unwind, reach up. Exhale to rotate left. Belly, ribs, and chest. See if you can keep your hips forward. And then just dropping the left arm down, right arm reaches up. And then teeing the arms back out. Inhale, we'll unwind, reaching up, maybe gazing up. Bring the palms to touch. Exhale, lower the hands down through heart center. Let's take a little chair pose, sinking the hips down and back, bending into the knees, long spine. Belly button scooping in, crown of the head reaching up. Take one more breath here. And then we're going to fold in, draping over the legs. From here, walk your hands out to a plank. So just keep stepping the hands out. We're going to bring the hips down in line with the rest of the body. Our shoulders are right over the wrists. Shoulders right over the wrist, belly button engaged, up and in. Tailbone drawing back, crown of the head reaching forwards. We're pressing the mat away, but at the same time, lightly drawing shoulder blades in towards the spine. And then from here, we'll tap the knees down, untucking the toes, shift forward, begin to lower all the way down to your belly with control. Inhaling to peel up, head, neck, chest, baby cobra. See if you can lift from your back body. Exhale to lower down. Next inhale, we're gonna press up through tabletop, tucking the toes, sending the hips up and back, downward facing dog. And we're gonna land here. You can always walk your dog a few more times. Feel the shape, feel the spread of the weight across the palm, across the finger pads. Think about lengthening your tailbone up and back, hips reaching evenly back, arms straightening any amount. Keeping this general shape, we're gonna inhale, reach the right leg up and back, three-legged dog. Think like in our bird dog here, we're lengthening out through that right heel, like we're stamping that foot against a back wall, keeping the hips level. And then we'll bend into the right knee. We're gonna draw the right knee forwards in towards the chest. We're gonna gaze in between the palms and step the right foot through. You can always help that right foot up. And then from here, we're gonna plant the left foot down for our warrior one. So those toes angled up towards that left corner of the mat. We can take the hands up to the leg. As you're ready, reach the arms up. And then we can examine our stance here. If you wanna make any little adjustments, you could always take the feet a little wider if you're feeling wobbly. We're gonna bend into that front knee, sealing the back foot down, spinning that back inner thigh towards the wall behind, letting the hips settle, easing forwards. And then from here, we're gonna take the right hand down to the hip. We'll keep the left arm long. Steady down through your feet. Begin to tip towards the right. So we're gonna go towards the bent knee side first. We'll come back up through center. We're gonna reach the right arm up. This time, left hand will come down to the hip. We're gonna lengthen up through the right fingertips, lean towards the left, the more wobbly side. And then let's slowly come back up. We'll take the right hand down to the hip. This time, inhale to reach both arms up. Bring your palms to touch. Lower your hands down through heart center. We're gonna straighten into the right leg. Without locking that front knee, keep your spine long. Begin to hinge and tip, folding forwards. Let's just go 45 degrees to maybe 90 degrees. Pause anywhere along that line, but we're not going super far. And then we're gonna just reach the arms straight back. Palms can face one another. Steady down through both feet. Pyramid pose. Hovering. And then inhale to rise, bending into that front knee, same time, so we land in our warrior one. Now from here, we're gonna take it to warrior two. So that right foot's gonna heel toe in, the left hip, the left foot are gonna open towards that long edge, and then we might need to crawl that back foot back a little bit. So we have our hips now open towards the long edge, and then we're gonna land here, gazing over the front fingertips. And just make sure you're drawing that right outer hip down and under. That right knee is gonna wanna kind of fold in. So we think drawing this outer hip down and under, bringing that right knee over the ankle. Good. And then from here, we'll straighten into the right leg. A little triangle pose. We're gonna hinge over the right hip crease, lengthening right fingertips forwards, dropping the right hand down to the shin or down to a block inside or outside of that right shin. Left arm's gonna reach up. Left ribs rotating up. That left hip, if it's falling forwards, reaching back in space. Next inhale, we're gonna begin to rise up. We're gonna bend into the front knee, warrior two. Now from here, we'll shift the gaze down. We're gonna windmill the hands down to the mat and we'll lift up onto the ball of the left foot. And we're gonna come down onto our blocks. lining up either maybe the medium height or the low height or whichever height you like. And then from here, just straightening into that right leg, any amount, sending the hips back, folding in, inhaling to find our lunge, bending into that right knee. Exhaling to straighten. Just a few times. This is just a variation on our pyramid pose. Gives a nice stretch for the front of that right ankle too. A little bonus because we don't often stretch that part of the foot and ankle. We'll just go one more time. Land in your lunge. Gazing forwards, long spine, all the way from your tailbone up through the crown of the head. And we're just gazing down somewhere slightly in front of that right foot, lengthening out through the left heel. Put a little bounce in that back foot. We're going to take a big step up. Left foot. Inhaling to half lift. Exhaling to fold in. Inhaling to sweep arms around and up. Exhaling, arms down by the side. And then inhale to reach up. Exhale to fold in. Inhale to half lift. Exhale to fold. We're going to plant the hands. We'll step both feet back to plank pose. Once we're there, option to drop the knees down or keep the knees lifted. And with control, we're going to shift forward, lower all the way down to the belly. Untucking the toes. Inhaling to peel up, baby cobra or cobra, lifting from the back body. Exhale to lower down. Inhale, we'll press up through tabletop. Tuck the toes. Send the hips up and back. Downward facing dog. Settling in here. 4 or 5 breaths, observing the shape. Even weight in the palms. Even length up and back through the hips. Maybe working towards straightening the legs any amount. Observe side to side how things feel. And then keeping this general shape, we're going to begin to lift the left leg up and back. 3-legged dog. Notice if that left hip's wanting to pop up, we just drop the left hip back down in line with the right. Lengthen back through that left heel. Shifting weight up and back from the palms, up through the shoulders, up through the hips, up and back through that left heel. Bend into your left knee. Draw your left knee forwards in towards the chest. Gaze in between the palms. Step the left foot through. And we just want to get to this place. Pause here for a moment. And then we're going to plant the right foot down. That right foot might come forwards a little bit. We can rise up. Hands can come to that front thigh. Feel the steadiness here. Add the arms as you're ready. And you can always make a little adjustments. Don't ever feel like you're committed to just keep your feet locked in where they were when you came up. If something doesn't feel right, you just shift. Allow yourself to settle. Hips facing forwards. Think about drawing that left hip crease back as you reach the right hip crease forwards. So the hips are just rotating up towards that short edge of the mat. Keep belly button tucking in towards the spine. This low half's going to stay the same. We're going to take the left hand down to the hip, lengthen up through the right fingertips, lean in towards that left side. Come back up through center. We'll reach the left arm up. This time, right hand comes to the hip. We lengthen up through the left fingertips. Slowly lean towards the right. Come back up through center. We'll reach that right arm up. Bring palms to touch. We'll lower the hands down through heart center. We'll straighten into that left leg. Again, taking that left hip crease back, right hip crease forwards. Inhale, and as you exhale, we're hinging and tipping. But remember, we can pause at 45 degrees. Maybe we go a little bit lower, maybe up to 90. And then we'll sweep the fingertips back, lengthening out through the fingertips. Arms are nice and straight, crown of the head's reaching forwards. Feel your feet here. Steady down through both feet. And then as we inhale, we're gonna bend into the left knee, reach the arms up, warrior one for a beat. And then taking it to warrior two. So our left foot's gonna heel toe in just a little bit. We're gonna open that right hip up towards the long edge. The right foot's gonna follow along. We might take that right foot a little further back. And then we examine here, make sure we're feeling that left outer hip, drawing down and under, settling weight a little bit into the heel of that left foot, sealing the outer edge of the right foot down. And then from here, straightening into the left leg. Hinging over that left hip crease, drawing left fingertips forwards, taking the left hand down to the shin or a block, right arm reaches up, triangle pose. Finding 2, maybe 3 breaths here. Reaching those right ribs up, drawing that right hip back in space, lengthening crown of the head forwards, last breath. Next inhale, we'll rise, bending into that front knee, warrior two. Shifting the gaze down, windmilling the hands down to the mat. We're gonna rock onto the ball of that right foot, bring the hands to blocks. And we always line up, wrists under the shoulders, let your hips settle. Take a moment, maybe just reaching back through that right heel, lengthening out that right leg. And then we're gonna begin to straighten into the left leg, hinging, folding over that left hip crease. Inhale to rebend. Exhale, we can straighten. And you determine the amount of movement here. It could just be a very small movement. It can be larger, maybe over time, a little more. Let's go one more time. Then pausing, bending into that left knee, letting your hips settle. Gazing slightly forwards, feeling your spine here. Belly button engaging up and in. Little bounce in that back foot. Big step up, right leg. Inhaling to half lift. Exhaling to fold. Inhale, we'll sweep the arms around and up. Exhale, arms down by the side. Now from here, let's reach the arms up alongside the ears. We're gonna sink the hips down and back, chair pose, second round. But this time's a little different. We're gonna start with our chair pose, make sure we feel nice and solid here. Belly button engaged in, long spine, arms reaching up, or they can always come straight out from the shoulders, like reaching forwards. And then from here, we're gonna take some little pulses. We're just gonna drop the hips, lift back up, maybe just an inch or so. See if you can send the weight a little bit more into the heels. You're gonna feel this in your glutes. You'll feel this in your quads. Just little pulses. One more time. And then settle. Let's fold in, let that go. Take an inhale, find a halfway lift, hands sliding up to the shins. Pause here. Take a moment to lengthen your spine, tailbone reaching back, crown of the head drawing forwards, belly button scooping in. So we're entirely supported here. And then we're gonna take our hands to blocks. On the tall height, we're gonna line up the wrists under the shoulders. So we stay in this general shape, straightening the legs any amount that we can here. Make sure the low back feels happy. We've got everything supported, belly button engaged in, so we're supporting that low back. And just a little bend in the right knee as we straighten the left leg a little bit. A little bend in the left knee as we straighten the right leg. Just a little side to side a few times here. And then come to stillness. Now from here, we're gonna take the left hand and place it kind of directly underneath the face. We can take our block. Maybe we shift the block down to maybe the medium height, or you can stay on the tall height. Left hand will come down to that block, so it's kind of centered slightly in front of the feet. We're going to take the right hand up to the right hip. Now from here, we're going to begin to rotate the right ribs up, taking a twist. You can bend a little into that left knee. We're spinning the right ribs up towards the ceiling, crown of the head's lengthening forwards. We can add that right arm, right fingertips reaching up towards the ceiling. Uttanasana twist. Then let's take the right hand down to the hip. We're going to unwind this twist. Right hand will come down to the block. Left hand will come to the hip. We're going to start by reaching the left ribs up and back, left shoulder up and back. This time the right knee can take a little bend. We're going to reach the left arm up towards the ceiling. So shoulders stacking, crown of the head lengthening forwards. Take one more breath. Then take your left hand down to your hip. Unwind the twist. This time folding over the hips. You can bring the hands down beside the feet. Maybe you scoot the blocks in a little bit. We're going to take a gentle forward fold here. Give yourself a bend in the knees so you can just let your spine go long. And next inhale, we'll begin to sweep the arms around and up. Exhale, the arms down by the sides. From here, we'll just do a little bit of balance work. We're going to start by sealing down the left foot, lightening up onto the right toes. We're going to float the right foot up just a little bit at a time, maybe a little bit higher. Maybe we come all the way up to hip height. Just a few ankle circles here. Go one way, go the opposite way. Come to stillness. Maybe we draw that right knee a little higher. Set that right foot down. Now this time, land the right foot down. We're going to lighten up onto the left toes and very mindfully just floating that left foot up, maybe coming up to hip height. Keep everything else the same, a few circles. So we've got mountain pose in the body, just this left leg lifted. Go the opposite way. Maybe we lift a little higher. Set the left foot down. Give the legs a little shake out. All right. And then from here, we're going to steady the weight into the left foot again. We're going to bring the palms to touch. We're going to lift onto the right toes. We're going to float that right foot up. Maybe that knee comes up to hip height. And now we're going to float it back to warrior three. So just move very slowly. We're going to think about hinging over the hips, pressing that right foot back, reaching back through that right heel, extending that right leg, keeping your hips level, gazing down to the mat. You know you can always take your hands down to blocks. We could keep the hands to heart center here. You could also take any other arm variation that you like. You could reach your arms back like we did before. You could reach the arms forwards. And then from here, we're going to step it back to our high lunge Anjaneyasana. So the right toes landing down behind us. We can always adjust once we land. We're going to reach the arms around and up as we're ready. Little bend in that back knee, hips facing up towards the top. And just feel this for a moment. Very similar to our next shape. We're going to take this into a warrior one. So all we're going to do is plant that back foot down. Notice the change in the hips here, that change in sensation. We're going to think about rotating that right inner thigh in and back. Maybe we bend a little deeper into that front knee. And then we'll bring the palms to touch. We're going to lower the hands down through heart center, straighten into the left leg. One more time, a pyramid pose. We're going to hinge over the hips. We're going to pause it halfway, gazing down towards the mat. But this time we're going to take the hands down to blocks, whatever height you like. So the wrists are right under the shoulders. Think about reaching that left hip crease back, right hip crease forwards. Keep grounding down through that left big toe. And then from here, if you'd like to fold in a little further, we can always continue to hinge over that left hip crease. You can always Dial the blocks down if you find that that feels better. Keep lengthening forwards through the crown of the head. Just hinging, tipping over that left hip crease. And then next inhale, we're gonna find a halfway lift with the spine. So if we lowered the blocks, we'd come back up to a higher setting. We're gonna keep this general shape with the legs. And from here, we're gonna take it into a revolved triangle pose. We can plant the right hand down. Just like we did in our Uttanasana twist, we're gonna take the left hand to the hip, steady down through both feet. Slowly begin to reach your left ribs up towards the ceiling, rotating that left shoulder up, and then option to add the left arm. Steadying down through both feet. Notice if that left hip is hiking out, we can just draw that left hip in and back. And then we'll take the left hand down to the hip. We're gonna unwind the twist. Take the left hand back down to the mat. Bend into your left knee. Lift onto the ball of that right foot. You can always wiggle it back a little bit. And then from here, big step up, right foot. Inhaling to half lift. Exhaling to fold. Inhaling to sweep arms around and up. Exhaling the arms down. All right. Hands back to the hips. Notice maybe for a moment in your body the difference in sensation side to side. We're going to balance all that out. Steadying down through the right foot. Lightening up onto the left toes. Floating that left knee up. Remember, anywhere up to about hip height. Bring the palms to touch. From here, we're mindfully, slowly flowing back to warrior three. Hinging over that left hip crease. Slowly reaching the left foot back. Extending out through the left heel. Hovering. All those arm variations, whatever you did before. But see if you can keep everything else the same as you add on. Long spine, belly button scooping in. Left foot reaching back. Left leg engaged. And then we're tapping the left toes down. Finding our high lunge. Reaching the arms up. Settling in. Little bend in that left knee. Hips facing up towards the top. Find a pause. And then we're gonna plant that left foot down. Warrior one, just a small change, grounding down that left foot. Keep spinning that left inner thigh in and back. Because there actually is a slight external rotation now on that back foot, but we're just gonna try to counteract that with a little internal rotation. Then from here, bringing the palms together, lowering the hands down through heart center, straightening into that right leg. Hinging forwards, keeping the spine long. Just be mindful you don't lock that front knee. And then once we're halfway, we can take the hands down to the blocks or the mat. You can pause here or fold in. Hinging over that right hip crease. Listening to your body. Listening to your breath. All the sensations. And then next inhale, we're gonna find that halfway lift with the spine again. Making sure that we've got the support with the blocks at the height that we need. Wrists are under the shoulders. We're gonna keep the left palm planted this time. Right hand will come to the hips. Keeping the feet steady here. Begin to rotate your right ribs up towards the ceiling. Right shoulder rotates up. We're gonna reach the right arm up or keep that hand to the hip. Think about reaching that right hip crease in and back as you rotate the right ribs up. Let's take the right hand down to the hip. We're gonna unwind the twist. Right hand down to the block. From here, bending into that right knee, lifting onto the ball of the back foot. Maybe a little bit more room, wiggling that left foot back. And then a big step up. Left leg. Inhaling to half lift. Exhaling to fold. Inhale to sweep your arms around and up. Exhale, your arms down by your side. And then inhale to reach up. Exhale to fold in. Inhale to half lift. Exhale to fold. And we're going to plant the hands from here. Step it back to plank pose. From our plank pose, we're going to take it to forearm plank. So keeping this general shape, just lowering down to the right forearm, left forearm. You can always take your knees down first. Make sure we've got elbows under the shoulders. Steady down through both palms, both forearms. Keep that length. Forwards through the crown of your head, back through your heels, belly button engaged up and in. Wonderful job. Wonderful job. Take 2 more breaths here. Maybe 1 more. Just a little extra. Then we'll tap the knees down, untuck the toes, and let's lower all the way down to our bellies. Overlap the palms. Let that go for a moment. Maybe just gently rock your hips a little side to side. And then coming to stillness. Let that go for a moment. Take a breath. Just let everything settle. And then from here, let's begin to rock onto our left side. I'm going to go towards the left. So coming onto the left side, a couple of different options here. The first thing we're going to do is come up onto the left forearm. We're going to line up basically the elbow underneath the shoulder. So we can start, you can feel a little side stretch on that left side. And then we're going to actually take this into a forearm side plank, but we have options here. If we keep the legs long like this, that's a full forearm side plank. We're going to rainbow the bottom hips up. If you'd like to modify, if you think that might be too much, we just bend into the knees, reaching the feet back behind us. So either with the legs long or with the knees bent. And then from here, maybe we take the right hand to the hip. We're going to begin to press into the outer edge of that left foot, press into that left forearm, and rainbow the bottom hip up. If it's too much with the legs long, remember the option to bend into the knees. Same thing, just with the knees bent. And then let's slowly lower that bottom hip down. From here, we can come forwards onto our belly and just shift our way over onto the right side. So just lining up here, that right elbow under the shoulder, legs long or knees bent, reaching behind, maybe that left hand to the hip. And then pressing into the outer edge of that right foot, that right forearm, we're gonna rainbow the bottom hip up, arcing up and in. So see if you can create as much space as you can under that bottom rib. Always the option if you did want to reach the left fingertips up as well here. Then we'll take the left hand back down to the hip. We'll lower the bottom hip down. We're going to roll back down onto our bellies. Come back down. Just overlap your palms. Rest for a moment. Let that all go. Actually, let's bend into the knees and take it into a nice windshield wiper. Now from here, come to stillness. We're going to let the feet come back down to the mat. We'll shift the gaze over to the right. We're going to take it into a half frog pose, bending into that right knee, reaching the right knee wide out to the side, rolling the inside edge of that right foot down. And we could have a 90-degree bend in the knee. It could be less than that. Maybe the knee comes up to hip height. Maybe it's less than that. And then you just make sure your knee is comfortable. You can always pad under that right side. And then let's begin to straighten that right leg back out. Shift the gaze over to the left. We're going to bend into the left knee, reaching that left knee wide, rolling the inside edge of that left foot down. Same thing, second side. Just allow yourself to settle. Feel the front side of your body here. And allow yourself each exhale out to grow a little heavier, to release. And just notice as the body does settle. And let's begin to straighten the left leg out, letting that left leg go long. Bring your chin to center. We'll walk hands down alongside the low ribs. From here, as you inhale, press up onto hands and knees. And then from here, we're just gonna take the feet around, draw the legs out in front. And then maybe we sit up on a blanket here. I just realized I didn't actually grab my blanket, but we can come up onto a blanket and we'll just start with the feet wide and the knees bent. And then we're going to take this into deer pose. We'll start with the left side. Deer pose is kind of like a cousin to pigeon pose. So that left leg, we're going to gently lie down in front of us. You can always play around with that angle of the knee just as you would in pigeon pose. Make sure it feels comfortable. And then we're going to lean a little bit towards the left so we can bring that right knee forwards and down. And again, you can play with the angle of the knee. Make sure you feel comfortable here. You can always add support to level out your hips. Take a moment to feel this in your spine. Feel this in your hips. And just start upright. Just maybe sensing your hips here, seeing if you can find a little bit more length in the spine. And then from here, we might just stay where we are. But another option is that as we would in pigeon, we could bring the hands forwards and we might just start here. If it feels good, you can always walk the hands forwards. Hands could be to blocks if you need a little extra height. We can walk the hands forward. We can fold in any amount. And then once you find that edge, allow yourself to settle. Just relax your neck. Let go of any tension there, any tension in your shoulders. And we're just going to slowly begin to walk the hands back up. Take your time to ease out of this, just as you took your time to come into it. And then from here, we can lean a little bit towards that left side. So again, we can bring that right leg forwards. We'll unbend the left knee. And then from here, we're going to bring that right leg forwards, gently lying that right shin down. We can lean a little bit onto that right hip to bring the left leg back. And then we just sense our hips here, trying to level out the hips the best that we can, making sure everything feels good. Finding a tall spine. And then taking the hands down to the mat or blocks. And from here, just that slow shift forwards, a little bit at a time till you find that edge. You can always make a little adjustment if you need to. Sometimes that back leg, you need to adjust the foot in or out a little bit. Make sure everything feels good. Pause at your edge. Maybe 3 breaths here. Slowly beginning to walk the hands back. As you lift up, a little lean towards that right side so we can bring that left leg forwards. We'll unwrap that right leg. Move slowly though, and then we're going to take the hands behind, however's comfortable. A little windshield wiper. So some dynamic movement Just balance out the hips. Any amount of movement that feels good. And then come to stillness. We'll heel toe the feet in. And then from here, we're just going to begin to lower down onto our backs, but make sure that you have a block handy, anything you like for Shavasana before you gently lower yourself down. And then let's start by just tucking the knees into the chest. And just give yourself a squeeze, maybe a few rocks here, side to side. And then come to stillness. And from here, we're going to set the feet down on the mat, hips width distance apart. We're going to lift the right foot up and we're going to hook the right ankle over that left knee for a figure four. Letting that right outer hip draw down and under. That right knee will reach back in space. But from here, we're going to add on, bringing the arms down by the sides. And then I'll give the option here. Either we're going to take an active bridge pose with our figure four, or you can take a supported version by lifting the hips up and scooting a block underneath. And you can just rest in the shape. Active version, we're going to press into that left foot. See if you can keep your hips level and even here as you rainbow the hips up any amount. Steady down through the backs of your arms, the backs of your shoulders. Pause here. We're going to take one more breath. And then beginning to slowly flow the spine back down. Let your hips land. Slowly unwrap that right leg. Set the right foot down. Lift the left foot up. We're going to hook that left ankle over the right knee. Start by finding that opening in the hip, letting that left knee draw back in space, feeling that sensation. We're going to keep this general shape, just adding the bridge pose. Steadying down through that right foot, the backs of the arms, slowly rainbowing the hips up any amount. That left hip's going to want to drop, so we just think about keeping that left hip level. At the same time, drawing that left outer hip down and under so that we keep that figure four shape. Take one more breath here. Begin to slowly let your spine come back down. Let your hips land. Unwrap that left leg. Just let your knees roll in towards one another. Find a pause, maybe just resting hands on your belly, or one hand over your belly, one hand over your heart. Maybe closing your eyes. And then let's scoop the knees back into the chest. Give yourself a squeeze. And then from here, let's begin to straighten out into the legs. We're going to take an active legs up the wall today. Active legs up the wall. So that L shape in the body, soles of the feet reach up towards the ceiling. Long spine. We're lightly tucking the belly button in for support here. We're going to bring arms either down by the sides, or you can make a little shelf to go underneath your tailbone by sliding the palms underneath. That just gives a little support, a little slight tuck of the tailbone. And then from here, we're going to hook the left ankle over the right ankle. We'll take a crisscross. And then we can begin to make some little circles here, just taking that left foot kind of in the clockwise direction. Just rotating. We're just straightening the legs any amount. If you need a bend in the knees, you just listen to your body. Come to stillness. We'll unhook that left ankle. This time the right ankle will hook over the left. And then we're going to think about drawing counterclockwise circles. And then let's just go one more circle. Come to stillness. We're gonna unhook that right ankle. We'll bring the feet together. And then let's begin to bend into the knees. Give yourself a squeeze, maybe a few little rocks side to side. And then come to stillness. We'll set the feet down. We're gonna grab our block and we're gonna do something a little different. So setting the feet down, about hips width distance apart, we're gonna take the block inside of the thighs so that we can lightly squeeze onto the block, and the knees stay about hips width distance apart, just enough to hold on. So you can decide if it's gonna be closer in, maybe closer up towards the knees here. We're squeezing that block, and then we're gonna lift the shins up parallel with the mat. So now we're kind of in our upside down tabletop, belly button engaged in. We're gonna tee the arms out to the side. And then we're gonna take this into a twist, but you're gonna go very mindfully. We're gonna flow the twist. So just letting the knees drop over to the right, any amount. And then we're gonna slowly come back up through center. And we're gonna let the knees drop over to the left, any amount. It could be we move an inch, it could be we move more. And we're gonna experiment. Chances are over time, you'll find you can find a little bit more rotation. And we're keeping those knees stacked over the hips. So it's kind of like we're just making a little rainbow, that arc, side to side. And let's just go one more time. We'll meet back in the middle. Pause. Let's set the feet down. We're gonna take that block out from in between the legs. Now we'll take the block on the low wide setting. We're gonna press into the feet, lift the hips up, scoot the block underneath. So it's underneath the sacrum, starting with our supported bridge pose here. A nice soft version of bridge. Letting the hips settle, feet about hips width distance apart, arms down by the sides or wherever is comfortable. And then from here, optional add-ons. Maybe we extend the right leg out long, letting that right heel land. If it feels okay, you want to try taking the left leg out as well, letting the left heel land. We can take both feet out. If you want to go one leg at a time, just bend back into the left knee, switch out after a couple of breaths. Allow yourself to settle here. Notice where there may be any resistance in the body. You can let that go. And then to slowly come out of this, we're gonna bend back into the right knee first, just planting that right foot down. Then we'll bend back into the left knee, planting the left foot down. We're gonna slowly lift the hips up, scooting the block out of the way. And then just taking the feet wide, one final windshield wiper here, side to side. And then whatever other movement you would like in your body, feel free to go there. We are ready for Shavasana. So as you are feeling good, you're gonna find that shape. Either knees bent and maybe letting the knees roll in towards one another, or legs long, maybe taking the feet wide, letting the feet roll open. Arms can go wherever you like, maybe a little wider or closer into the body. Make sure you're warm enough. Make sure you're comfortable. You can prop yourself up in any way you choose. And then close your eyes or soften your gaze. your rest. Letting it all go. No effort, intention, pure rest. From Paulo Coelho, maybe the journey isn't so much about becoming anything. Maybe it's about unbecoming everything that isn't really you, so you can be who you were meant to be in the first place. You already know. It's already in there. Always present, always with you. Inner light. Begin to bring your awareness back, wiggling into fingers and toes, making gradually larger movements. Maybe eventually taking a long stretch if that feels good. Lengthening out. And then just as you're ready, beginning to make your way onto your right hand side, tucking up into the fetal position. And then slowly beginning to rise your way up to a seat as you're ready. As you're ready, finding a tall seat. And this next inhale, we'll reach the arms around and up. We're going to bring palms to touch. Exhaling, lowering the hands down to the heart center. And if you'd like to join me in the sacred sound of Om, always just an option. But if so, we're going to inhale together here. Om. And then next inhale, just lifting your chest. As you exhale, bowing forwards. Thank you all for sharing in this practice with me. Namaste.